It's been almost 6 months since the tragedy at Mother Emanuel AME Church here in downtown Charleston. And in this special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I speak exclusively with one of the prominent AME pastors here in Charleston, Ebenezer AME pastor, Reverend William Swinton. Reverend Swinton.
Yes.
It is so good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Yes, sir. I believe it was maybe 2 years ago when I interviewed you for Quintin's Close-Ups. And just, right. I believe last month I saw you in the Charleston City Market. I almost chased you and your wife down. I'm like, hey, I want to do another interview.
Right, I do recall.
Yes, sir. And I remember asking you too that I want to talk to you about Mother Emanuel and a couple other things.
Sure.
Let me create the scene. We're sitting inside the sanctuary here at Ebenezer AME Church. And I didn't realize this, but when I was on the website earlier today, I realized that you guys are actually undergoing renovations.
Yes, we have suspended our renovations, but we've done quite a bit here.
Wow.
In the past couple years. We've renovated all of our restrooms. They're all new.
Yeah.
We've added on a new stewardess room for our stewardesses to prepare communion.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And we're in the process also of doing some work in our kitchen, renovating the kitchen. So we've been quite busy since the last time I saw you.
That's right. And when you think of the renovations, what vision do you have in mind?
Just improving the quality of our facilities and wanting, of course, to present our best,
right.
You know, because God gave us His best in Jesus Christ. So we want to give Him our best in terms of our facilities, our outreach, our ministries. Whatever we do, we try to do our best.
And unfortunately, since the last time we talked, a tragedy struck our city. As you know, on June 17th, 9 people of God were murdered by an evil guy at Mother Emanuel during Bible study. And I want you to take me back to that day because I'm wondering, where were you when you got the news? And when you got the news, what did you tell yourself?
Well, actually, we were in Bible study.
Okay.
And one of the officers from the police department was here on that evening giving us a presentation on how the police should interact, how our students, I should say, should interact with police.
Right.
And we recall that evening and his beeper went off during the presentation. And he immediately went to a telephone and made the call and said that he had to leave. Yeah. And at that point we knew that something very serious had happened in our community, but we did not know the magnitude of it, of course, until later on that night. As you know, Reverend Clemente Pinckney was the pastor, was a good friend of mine. We work on some very good projects here in the city together. We worked well together, and many of the members I knew who fell as a result of that tragic incident.
And let's talk about the unity, because instead of people really, rioting in the city and doing a lot of destructive things, we all came together. And I remember, I don't know if this is true, but you actually participated in the bridge walk?
I don't recall being on that particular walk, but I was active in a number of other activities during that time. And it did bring us together in some very unusual ways. I've had the privilege of speaking to Catholic groups. We've had schools to come by and visit us at the church. And I think it's even though it was a bad thing, some good has come out of it. And I think it's brought us closer together as a community.
And it's now almost 6 months since that tragedy, and I'm wondering, where are you still emotionally 6 months later?
I think I'm better, but I'm still not over it. Because almost weekly, something triggers my mind, a conversation, an interview, just reminds me that those people who I thought so much of and who served so well,
they did.
At Mother Emanuel are no longer here. And so even though it doesn't feel like 6 months, it almost feels like 2 months ago for me. Simply because I'm constantly being confronted by people who continue to want to talk about it.
Well, Reverend William Swinton, it's always good talking to you. Thank you so much.
Good talking to you.
I appreciate it.
I wish you well in all you do.
Thank you. You too.
All right.